Kiwi Design was kind enough to send me their G4 Pro and G4 Max controller grips for the MetaQuest 3 and 3S. So today I'll be installing them on my MetaQuest 3, going over the key differences and sharing my thoughts. These controller grips were designed to improve comfort, control, and overall gaming experience. The G4 Max has an extra long handle that will give individuals with larger hands more control while they play, while the G4 Pro has the more compact and standard fit, leaving you with a balanced and secure feel. If you are into VR and tech content, please hit the subscribe button as I have more VR accessories and tech reviews coming soon. Also, if you are interested in these controller grips, I will paste the links down below for you so that you can check them out. All right, let's get into this. We're gonna start by unboxing the G4 Pro. So here we have one controller grip, and here we have the other controller grip. I'm gonna place those down there. In the box, we also have what I think are the pieces that will go over the battery. Yes, so we got two of those, one for each controller. I like that it already comes assembled like that, so it's no extra work. And then we also have a warranty and customer guide manual over here. It also comes with some extra straps in case you need them in the future. Okay, let's unbox the G4 Max. Okay, here we can see that right off the bat, they are much longer than the G4 Pros. So let's take all the things out of the box here, and then we're gonna start to compare them. So we also have some extra straps in this one if you need them. And we also have the manual and warranty guide. Let's get those out of the way. So I do have two of the MetaQuest 3 controllers here with me, and we're going to be installing one of these on each, and then we're going to be testing them out. So now that we have all these controller grips out, let's get into comparing them. If you've ever held a MetaQuest 3 controller, you'll be used to the G4 Pro size. This is pretty much the same size. Both of these controller grips right here, the Pro and the Max, both have a nice grip to them, and it feels like a nice non-slip rubber material. The first time that I used the MetaQuest 3 for a throwing game, I almost threw my controller at the wall, and I realized how important it was to have a controller grip that can keep it a lot more secure. I was using the wrist strap, but to be honest, it doesn't give you freedom to play properly. It kind of gets in the way of more things than not, for me at least. When it comes to looking at the G4 Max, you can see that extra length to the controller grip. When I put my hand in here, it does feel very secure. I don't necessarily have large hands, but I don't think I have small hands either. But these do feel very comfortable also. The way to adjust the G4 Pro is that there's a Velcro here on the side. You're just gonna slide your hand in and lock that in. For the G4 Max, it does have a different system. So you'll actually have to press the button at the bottom and then pull the loop right here. There's a finger loop. You can go and put your finger inside, press the button down and pull it in. So it has a nice secure fit. Then you can slide your hand in there and get it all locked in as well. The G4 Max has a lanyard attached to it if you need to put your wrist in there for extra control also. I didn't see a lanyard for the G4 Pros, but maybe you can use a stock one at the bottom if you really need it. But to be honest, with the way it feels right now, I don't think I need anything. This one is nice and compact, feels like the regular controller with a lot of extra grip. The second one here gives you that extra piece at the bottom that might do you justice as you play games that have a lot of throwing or swinging to them, motion in general, and you have that larger hand that feels kind of pressed into this one. Let's get into installing these onto the controllers. I'm going to install one on each, and then we're going to see how they truly feel. One other thing to note is that you should not lose any of your sensors, because the way that this is designed to work with this controller and to make it play as if there's nothing on it. So let's get into installing these grips onto the MetaQuest 3 controllers. I'm going to install the G4 Pro onto the left controller here, and then the G4 Max onto the right controller. So let's see how we're going to install this. First thing we gotta do is press and take off this battery compartment. I know that because I can see that there's this piece over here that's actually gonna clip into that. But before we clip it in, we're going to remove the battery. The reason we're doing that is so that the battery can be installed with this piece, this strap right here, so that we can remove the battery without taking off the full controller grip. Let's plug this in here. We're gonna clip that in. Then you're gonna take your battery, you're gonna line it up here, and then you're gonna push your battery and lock it in, okay? Then you can tuck the rest of the strap into the battery compartment. Next, we're going to grab our controller grip, and then we're gonna pop it in. Very simple two-step process to set this up. So we're gonna pop it in, pull the skin on top, and there you have it. Here is the battery compartment door, so we're gonna shut that just so it's locked in, and your controller is already ready to go. So as you can see here, it is fully installed and strapped in. All right, very nice. So let's get into installing this right controller into the G4 Max controller grip. So the difference with the G4 Max controller grip is that this battery compartment is already installed into the grip itself. So we have our grip here. I'm just gonna look in for that battery strap because we wanna make sure that battery strap rolls underneath and is functional to help pull out the battery here. So let's get that battery strap. So you want to make sure that the end of the strap is coming out so that way when you install the battery, it's all good to go. So let's take off the piece right here for the battery, and I'll take the battery out as well. Then we're going to slide this in and try to clip this piece into the top over here, okay? So we're going to slide it in. Just gonna make sure this battery thing stays free for us. Actually, you might be better off pulling it out just so it's out of the way. Now we will slide this in. All right, there we go, it's clipped. So then you can pull the silicone around, and now we have this battery compartment here, which we will use to install the battery. So you can push that strap down, install your battery, and then tuck the rest of the strap in as well, okay? Now we can close that compartment and your G4 Max is ready for use. As you can see, they are both fully installed, and we are going to test them out with the MetaQuest 3. But right off the bat, while the controller is installed here, I do feel like the G4 Pro is a little bit more lightweight and natural. As I said, my hands aren't super large, so this does feel pretty comfortable. But the G4 Max is also comfortable. I'm gonna have to test it out in a real game to see how it fares off. Some differences to note is that the Velcro strap on the G4 Pro is a lot more thin, so it is more lightweight and it may be more breathable, where the G4 Max has a thicker silicone band that might have your hands sweating a little bit more. But like I said, it's hard to tell until we really get them to use. So let's put our headset on and test these controller grips out. Here I am using the H4 Boost headset. If you want to see my video on unboxing and reviewing that, I'll paste a link down below for you as well. All right, let's turn this bad boy on. So now that I have both of these controllers installed, I can definitely feel the lightweight, compact comfortability factor of the G4 Pro. And on the other hand, I can appreciate the extra length and the sturdiness that comes along with the G4 Max. So if you have larger hands, you may prefer the G4 Max because it seems like it can reduce fatigue when playing for long times. If you don't have the largest hands and you're okay with holding on to the smaller lightweight grip, I feel like this would be a preference if you want to play for long times and also want to be able to move around swiftly. Okay, not to say that you can't with this, but that's just my first impressions here. All right, so I'm gonna put a game on real quick. All right, so we're gonna play some Beat Saber and we're gonna see how these controls fare off for me. Right, well, that was fun. I did play some Beat Saber one level using these controller grips, and I have to say that I really think they're both ergonomic and comfortable, but the G4 Pro for my hand size seems to work a little bit better in terms of comfort. I did find the G4 Max ergonomic as well, but I don't know if my hand isn't large enough. When I did movements where I had to extend down, I felt a little bit more weight, which I don't prefer. So if I'm going to choose between the two, I like the feel of the G4 Pro for myself. Like I said, I don't have the biggest hands. You might find the G4 Max more comfortable, but this video was for you to see the real life comparison between the two, to let you make the decision on your own as to which one you would prefer. But in my case, I'm going with the G4 Pro. So overall, I would say these are both a solid upgrade over using the stock grips, as they are not as ergonomic and they do not have that grip and comfort level that the G4 series offers. If you prefer a more balanced and secure feel and you don't have the larger hand size, then the G4 Pro will probably be better off for you. If you have a larger hand, maybe even larger than mine, you may find more comfort in the G4 Max, as it does have that extra locked in feel. I want to say thanks again to Kiwi Design for sending these products out. I will be playing around more with the G4 Pro personally, so stay tuned for more videos on the G4 Pro, and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more VR accessories and tech content. Until then, I'm gonna catch you in the next video.